Hey, kia ora whānau. Wow, we had the Team 117 come in this morning and clean up our fence along here. The plan is we're going to build a fence that's this height all the way down to the post down there, following the straight line that we got there, and we will probably concrete that off so that it goes back to about there. Then it means we can put the boat closer to the fence, and I might just put some reinforcing wire just to strengthen the concrete up in that bit, because at the moment, sitting on the grass, on the road, can't go down this side. But that was a big task today. Put the fence up, and we will put a gate here, or we'll fence off this side, which means that all the back will be enclosed, and I'll just walk around the back. And the plan is we will put a chicken coop in the back. Get 6 eggs. There's the worm farm. And we'll turn this into a chicken area. I'll mulch all that, so those are the trees that were chopped down, so that'll get mulched down, and I'll mulch all the green waste that's there, and that'll add to the mulch that I've put down here. And I'm making a pile just up there. So that was a really awesome job that the boys did. So Team 117 is based on Isaiah 117, where we do, firstly we have breakfast together, have a bit of a testimony or a bit of a devotion. Mike shared this morning, just wanting to keep pressing into what God's doing, and it was good. And then today they helped us out getting all that ready. That's really helpful. I actually fell over the other day when I was doing some weeding along the back here. We've had some folk cut across a section using it as a shortcut, and the next door neighbours just want to make it a bit more secure and safe for Jace, whilst at the same time we utilise the space and have chickens around the back. Give us some eggs. I'm thinking of planting a tree in here so it gives them a bit of shelter. That's pretty awesome. Really helpful. Next part is to dig the trench, put the post holes down, get the materials. So thanks team. Thanks Mike and the team. I dug around the edge there and see how the birds dig along. They find some worms. Just got to keep an eye on it. The Fijos are starting to fall. Rhubarb's coming along. Some carrots. Coming along. Got some kumaraho, kawakawa, seedlings. This is the backyard. It doesn't take much to start a garden. Now you can see that I've got a lot. I've actually got 9 smaller gardens here. But as soon as I woke up to the ability to be able to grow some vegetables, become easier and easier. And I'm integrating different principles and different practices. And so, like, I was in Auckland for an unveiling, and on the way back they do their food recycle program there. So I took my son's plus my neighbour's bags and I put them in the car, and last night I got them in and I buried them in my worm farm halfway in the middle there. Took out the bananas, put them into my banana and seaweed mix that I've got over there. I use that as a fertilizer. But the ability to be able to create a cycle of this green waste, so your nitrogen, and my brown waste, which is the wood chips, which is my carbon, or anything else brown, boxes and so forth. I make those and the worms will eat them. So they poop it out. I then add it to my plants when I plant them, and or onto my compost mix. And so now we're coming up to March. So if you're wanting, as an idea, if you're wanting to have vegetables winter harvests, March is now the time to plant. So you think about all your brassicas. Up here in Northland, I've planted small potatoes, because we could actually have, I'll mound, like you can see here, the potatoes are coming through. I'll just mound those over, mound them up, and they will be okay in winter time. I've got potatoes over in that garden over there, and that one I could actually harvest now, because pretty much they've died off, or they're dying off. So if I actually dug in there, there'd be potatoes. But the potato trail that I had along here, that's in my bin in the storage area, and there's plenty in there at the moment. But what I'm doing is I've created this ongoing growth of clay that I can grab as and when needed. Borage is one of my plants I use to help attract bees, fertilizers, but then I also break off the leaves and plant them around the place. I've got some rosemary around the place. So waking up to gardening, you could just have this stretch. So this is about 2 meters, maybe 3 meters by a meter, and it was a no-till. So what I did initially, put down cardboard. I actually mowed it real close to the ground, so real close, to effectively, if I did that regularly, the sun would burn the grass off. But for my no dig, I mowed the grass where this was, and then I laid down cardboard, and then I put down compost. I bought some compost and laid in there, and I think my first lot of clay in that one was my some lettuces from memory. But this is what I'm doing. I just keep adding. Now that I've got my worm castings, my permaculture's happening. Worm castings, worm juice, and worms producing. I can now take some of that and add it to my compost. As you look back, you'll see that happening. In one of my previous videos, we talked about the process of where did I plant out? I planted out this one over here. I harvest out my garlic out of there and put in compost and worm castings, and then added it to that mother that's there. And you could start with what you like to eat. Potatoes, rewai, kumara, sweet potatoes, silver beet, lettuces. We've got no spinach here, but we normally have spinach. We'll put down spring onions, as you can see around the place. That's a regular, I just keep planting those. Helps with the bugs. Means if I want to do some cooking and I need some spring onions or that onion flavour, I can just come out here and grab it. Today I had ham and lettuce, tomato, cheese sandwich, so I just grabbed some silver beet. I'm due to plant some more in, and I'll probably do it in that gap there. But you just break it down into small, achievable activities that particularly I noticed in Auckland, where you've got a lacking of space. You've got to think about your size, your environment, which way, where the sun comes or doesn't come, and all that type of stuff. So if you've just got a porch or a decking, you could do it in, like, here's my herbs. This might be the only space that you have, so you end up using, instead of having a big little correct gardens like this that I have here, you might start with boxes, planting boxes. You see I've got mint, some mint there, parsley, I've forgotten what that one is, but I'm doing that for the smell. Oregano, something like that. Chives, mint, and the cool part about this mint, it was like this, so I chopped it off, and then I planted out some more, and I have made, I have made, by putting the mint into water, sitting on the windowsill for a little while, they have rooted out, and so I've now got these seedlings. I've now got little pot plants of mint growing in here. So these are now taking hold. So I've got mint. Cabbages, I pricked these out a couple of weeks ago. Here's some more cabbages here. These are broccoli. There's some more broccoli there. I've put some broccoli on the other gardens, and they need to be pricked out. Pak choi, lettuces, and I'm hoping these are my lemons. Put some lemon seeds in. I've got, what I've got in here, let's have a look. Kawakawa seeds and karu. Can't quite tell, but keep these moist. But those are my seedlings, and when I was talking about winter harvest, so I'll be planting these out on the papakainga, and I'll be using the no-dig, pull back the bark that's there, lay down cardboard, then I'll have compost, lay down the compost, and I'll plant them in, and depending on the heat, I may put up some little tunnels, put them in some tunnels, but I've got plenty here, so I'll just plant them out. And the idea being is that the length of each row will be 10 meters, and then I'll have it 750 millimeters wide, which is enough for me to stand over it, and then I can plant, and I'll either do rows of 3 or 4, and then pretty much just go create rows. But these are getting nearly ready. I'll have them probably here for another week. I'll probably direct sow these ones now because they're getting a little bit too big. But yeah, that's my it's for my winter planting, and I'll put some more around the community side. Yeah, so these mints came from a little mint garden. Chopped off and rooted them out, and now I've planted them. So what I'll probably do tomorrow is come along, just take off the yellow ones, put some more compost in, build it up a little bit more, and I've got my own little, I've just created my own little pot that I can give away or plant out in other locations. You do have to be careful with mint because they do grow quite wild, so better off into a container just to control their expansion, otherwise they tend to take over. But that's the mint there that came out of there. So for likes of inner city living, you might only have a deck, so you just get some planters, and here this gets the afternoon sun, and so now I can come along and eat mint, parsley. I've forgotten what that is. I needed to write it down. But we had some homemade burgers the other day, and I cut up a bit of each of these. Oh, mainly this one and the rosemary, and added that in. Yeah, this garden here has also become a bit of a therapeutic space. Like you notice, I'm walking around with bare feet, and I've got our Huapare Kore Kaupapa signs up just to remind you what we're doing. But it's a good space to ground yourself and think about where we're at in the world, what's going on around us, slowing down, listening, like listening for the birds, understanding what's happening up in the sky. We had a bit of rain clouds come through the other day, so we were watching that. Where the moon's at, regards to its cycle, what's happening with the plants, these calendulas, are they? They self-seed, and I'm not too worried about them because they put a bit of colour. They also attract bees, and so I allow them to grow. And I'll take some of these old ones where there are seeds on them, like that one there, and then I'll chuck them somewhere, and then over time they'll grow. But this grounding feeling is there's a movement on the globally at the moment. It's called the grounding movement, or grounding, and one of the things that they talk about, particularly for your health, the health of older folk, is the need to help fight some of the diseases and ailments that we have, is the process of connecting to the earth like I am at the moment, that the electric current that is flowing in the earth, that we're connected to it as well. And supposedly, according to the science, is it helps reduce inflammation in the body. So they talk about standing or sitting on the ground for 15 minutes, and that helps reduce the inflammation that's happening. It's possibly one of the reasons why that kids who get outside and play a lot, particularly when I grew up, we were always in the park, always on bare feet, always cutting our feet or our knees, never got sick. But the lifestyle that we're living these days, a garden is a really good place to kind of center yourself, think about where you're going and slow down, get into the battle rhythms of what's happening in the season and happening with the plants. And a couple of weeks ago I planted these potatoes. They were potatoes that I had stored up, shoots were running through. They're going to take about 60 to 70 days until they're ready. I like the swift potatoes for that reason. And so, one quick turnaround, relatively. So I'm watching. Now I'm coming over here because I see a potato, and this is why I've got this pile here. So what I do is I'll just cover that over, because I don't want it exposed. I've got some tomatoes there. So whānau, this whole process of our Marakai project is, it's food security, sustainability, but it's more about, it's more than that. We're so busy connected to the, even doing this, I'm connected to social media and so forth, busy at work, that we don't take time to allow ourselves to listen to what's going on with our body, to listen to what's going on around us in our environment. I've got worms functioning over here, and in their cycle I've got the worms, got baby worms, got worm cells or worm eggs happening. My worm farm that I'm doing with those containers over there and under here, I'm trying to encourage them to grow and produce more, and then we can create more worm farms, and encourage people to recycle their own clay, to take their food and feed waste, and this composting process. I could have easily taken this wood and taken it to the tip where they have a green waste disposal, but I said to the team, no, just keep the piles separate, and what I'll do is I'll mulch all that up and I'll reuse it, I'll reintroduce it back into the cycle. So over here I'll mulch those two things, and as you can see down here I've got these two going on off mulch, so it's breaking down, but I add that as my carbon into my worm farm. So I've closed the loop in that process, and if more of us do that in a smaller scale, it's better for the environment. There's no need for landfills, and the process of actually caring for Te Aotearoa we'll be living. So we all did our own little part, we all had our own little gardens doing our own little stuff. Yeah, wonder how different it would be. So what do we have here? It's not flash, it's not pretty compared to some other gardens I've seen, but I enjoy with the worms. I like watching what they're doing. I enjoy picking and eating my potatoes and cabbages, the kumara. Oh, I love the kumara. Feed jars. So these are annual, and March through to the Autumn, mahuru is when they start dropping, and they're already starting to do that. So I'll eat those. We love lettuces. Josie likes spinach. She loves these strawberries. We've got beans. We're saving beans. We've got a seed bank in the bank here. Tomatoes we love. Beefsteak tomatoes. Got plenty of those going on. And some of the brassicas. The other side of it too is, instead of getting brought into the commercial side of shopping, we're eating things outside of the seasonal rhythms. So we're learning to eat kai within the seasons. So having a garden forces me to slow down. Even when I was down in Auckland, I was thinking about, okay, how are my seedlings going? I have to pre-plan going, making sure there's enough water in the soil in order to last for the 2 days. Yeah, there's things that you just got to slow down. You think about saving water. New Zealand supposedly has drought, but when you think of what happens to our rain and where it goes, we waste a lot of water. So how do we capture water? This is the thing that we're needing to do here. I've got 70 litre containers, rubbish bins. Cut the holes in the top, turn the whole lid upside down, so when it rains they fill up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'll put one over here, so that can feed that. So I'm going to get a catchment facilities over here, so I can feed the water those ones. I might get another one or two, and I'll put it over here. That'll feed my seedlings. I think I might create a water catchment off the roof there and just have it somewhere around there. So then that water there could feed this one. Yeah, so it's just thinking about, what are we doing with our Aotearoa? What are we doing with the things that are naturally given to us? How can we connect to what's going on? Wow, this is a long one, isn't it? Lots of little things happening here. Anyway, whānau, I just want to say a word of thanks to all the people that have subscribed to my channel and that are watching and tuning in. And thanks for your comments. It's really helpful because it gives me ideas of what people enjoy, and this is just me and our family finding ways of being sustainable, both regards to food security and sustainability, regards to what we do with our waste, and thinking about utilising our spaces. Because when we came here, if you see some of the early shots, this was just all grass, and I got to mow it and it looks pretty, but here it's now a resource that we can get stuff off it, but we also put back. So I hope this encourages you and inspires you to kind of think about what you could do at your own home and your own space. I know that we're privileged here, being in the country, to have a property this size. But as I said, you got to think about what you've got and go, okay, what can I do in my own space? Hence why the videos, if you look through the channel, I've done them on smaller mara. So we've got 9. We've actually only got 8 now because I'm going to turn that into a chicken coop at the back. But it all relates. Excess green waste, we'll throw it over there and give that to the chickens. Mulch up, feed it into there, feeds the chickens. But beans growing, beans, and all nice, all food. I've got any more beans over here. So yeah, thanks Fano, thanks Arno, thanks everyone, those overseas that are joining in with us too. Yeah, really appreciate it. Looks like my bananas are starting to kick off. I just need them to produce bananas now. But avocados tree's going, got another one going over there. Yeah, as I say, I use it for my health, my own well-being. Kind of de-stressing from 20 years in the army, and some of the stuff we've been through, and because sometimes you just need to clear your head. So there's health benefits, there's building recycles into our lives in regards to the internal functionality of what goes on in our body. And then there's just the beauty of being in the environment and enjoying the sun and the weather. Although it's starting to spit now, but that's alright. Watering my garden, filling up my storage areas. Yeah, feeling connected. Alright, I think this will be long enough, eh? It's a long one. Thanks, eh? Bless you all. God bless.